Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of August, 2025. I hope this Wednesday finds you and your family safe and healthy, and that you and your family are provided for in terms of your needs, food, shelter, clothing, as well as health. Blessings upon those that work in health, that work along with first responders who risk their lives daily to save others, and those that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those helping people who are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, on all the profiteers, and on all those perverts that create the demands that cause these industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Well, you haven't heard from me since Sunday, and I think I spoiled some of y'all because I put out a lot of content, put out a lot of Knicks content too. But in August, August is probably the worst time of the year for me and for Knicks Nation because it's the deadest time. You're done with the season, you're done with the playoffs, you're done with the NBA draft, you're done with the summer league, you're done with free agency, and those are the most of the year. So you're starting with all of that, late September, and you end all of that by the end of July. And so now you're waiting for the next training camp. Now, if any team has news all year round, it's the New York Knicks, right? So, but even with the Knicks, it's very little. So what I've been doing is I have been pretty much in wait mode, waiting to see the last final moves that the Knicks would make. And yesterday, Ian Begley had an interesting, I love Ian Begley. I mean, in terms of him as a professional reporter for the Knicks. He's one of what's left of two wise men. It used to be three. But he puts out usually very good content with respect to the Knicks. Not hardly speculative, always facts of what he knows and tells you plainly what he doesn't know. And I like that. He doesn't create clickbait. Sometimes, though, he has his show, The Putback, and he has had what I would consider, in my opinion, some knuckleheads on there that cause me not to want to see it. But yesterday he had some dude named Keith Smith on there from, he's an NBA writer, reporter. And they talked some important stuff yesterday. They talked about the extension, about the cap, and about moves going forward. And basically, I guess I'm being a little selfish in that you basically repeated what I've been saying all along. So let's start now. Also, as a side note, the schedule for this coming season should come out tomorrow, the 14th. Once I analyze the schedule, I'll do a video on that, so what we can expect going forward in it. Without looking at the schedule, without seeing it, a healthy Knicks team, in my view, should come out with at least 58 wins this coming season. And so, but I'll know more once I look at the schedule. Speaking of that, we also are talking now about the roster. Ian Begley strongly suggested yesterday that Landry Shamet is going to get that last veteran spot, which we expect. The Knicks have two positions left, and him and Keith Smith was talking yesterday. And from what Ian has heard within the organization, Shamet is the favorite to get that last veteran spot. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I like the structure of what the Knicks have done, Mike Brown has done with the coaching staff. So he hires another guy, TJ Saint, who is the G League coach for the Pelicans. He hires Chris Gent, which is an assistant coach for Charlotte. And between these two, they're going to be managing the offensive side of the basketball. They're going to be focused on that. The Knicks have a lot of offensive talent between Brunson and Towns. In fact, the whole starting five, I mean, with respect to everybody but Mitchell Robinson, and even him, he's the lob threat. So you got a lot of offensive talent, the development of the Deuce McBride. You have also, of course, other pieces like Jordan Clarkson that just came on board, Guerschon Yabusele. So you have a lot to work with, is what I'm saying. So with anybody that knows what they're doing, which I suspect these two pros do, on the offensive side of the ball, is going to have a good time setting the Knicks up. And Mike Brown is going to be, of course, the head coach, but he's working with these two gentlemen on the offensive side of the ball. And so they talked about Shamet. Shamet is going to be very important because he has already proven that he's a tremendous defensive player. He covers ground. He moves very well, stays in front of his man, loses length, challenges all the time, 100% effort. And then we already know he's a knockdown shooter. He's a knockdown shooter, spot-up shooter. And so on the NBA level. So he's going to be here. And it's not official. When it is, we'll let everybody know. We'll talk about it. But for now, I strongly suggest what Ian Begley said is true, which is what I've been saying all along. Shamet is the guy. Now, they talked about Mitch Rob. And some of y'all have come at me, what about Mitchell Robinson's extension? Let me again be clear. The Knicks are interested in extending Mitchell Robinson, not trading him, which you're going to get the trade birds and the clickbaiters that bring out all of that crap. But I'm going to tell you now, they're interested in keeping Mitchell Robinson, and they want to extend him. But it's prudent. We're dealing with the Don, one of the most prudent and conservative chess-playing presidents of basketball operations in the NBA, okay? This side of Sam Presti. So he is going to wait and see what Mitchell Robinson brings to the table in terms of availability. So Mitch Rob has not been the most available. I'm Mitch Rob Hive. You can't come on my channel dishing my homie. But they're going to wait and see if he can play a full season, which to me that's 70 games. And they're gonna watch his minutes because that's the trend now in the NBA with guys like Mitchell Robinson, Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama, big guys that are long and slim. They want to watch their minutes and get the most out of them. And so you're probably looking at less than 30 a game, probably close to 25 a game with Mitchell Robinson, especially since you do have Ariel Hukporti, who I suspect is going to be a rotation piece this year. You have him, and you got Yabusele, and you still got Cat who could play the 5 as well. So there's no need to push Mitchell Robinson past 25 minutes a game. You play him those 25 minutes. He's in shape now. This is the first summer in a long time that he has been able to just work on getting in shape without recovering from a freaking injury. So this is good. He's also in a veteran's state now. He's 26, 27 years old. So it ain't like he's some rookie that's learning the game. Mitch Rob knows the game. He's been in the league now. I think he's the longest tenured Knick right now. He's the longest tenured Knick. Him and Deuce are the longest tenured Knick. He's 27. So he's in his prime. He's going to know how to protect himself and conserve himself from injury. That's good. So you're going to have that. So if we can get 72 games out of him, he will get an extension. Okay? I'm expecting his extension to be pretty much what his current contract is. I'm looking for 4 years, $60 million. I'm thinking that's probably where he stays, the way the landscape is right now in NBA. So we're going to wait and see probably till February. Maybe if Mitch Rob is still chugging along consistently, and if he's healthy and playing the way Mitch Rob plays, I'm not looking for him to do crossovers or get 20 points a game or hit 3-point shots. No, we're looking for him to be an elite offensive rebounder and rim protector, to be able to switch on anybody on the floor 1 through 5, as he has demonstrated already, especially against the Celtics in last year's playoffs. He can cover the whole floor. That's the thing. Length and speed, very important on defensive end in the NBA today. So if he's doing his thing, offensive rebounding, plus playing elite defense and rim protection. And then the next step, which I feel like he should get, at least 60% from the line, maybe 65. If he could do that, he's going to get an extension. And he's going to be an important piece. If he plays 72 games like that for the Knicks are in the finals, okay? This is how good this kid is. This is how important he is to the what the Knicks are doing. So that's why they're going to wait and see with respect to his health. He gets hurt again in December, as he's done many times. This is going in another direction. I'm going to tell you that right now, because this is an investment. The NBA is like all other businesses. It's a huge business, though, multi-billion-dollar business. Each team, especially the Knicks. So before you make an investment, you want to make sure you got a high probability of lowering or mitigating your risk in that investment. Mitch Robinson would be an investment. He comes into this season, and believe me, Mitch Robinson's not stupid. He might be a country boy, but he ain't stupid. He knows he got to stay healthy this year. So he knows it's going to cost him money if he doesn't. I'm not worried about it because, like I said, I believe in his ability, his intelligence, and I know he'll be here. He ain't one of these guys that's looking to get a paycheck and then lay up because he don't want to play, just wants to get paid. There are guys like that, not Mitchell Robinson. So I'm looking for him to be here, play at 72 games, play smart. He's going to miss 10 games. Everybody does. No problem. Play his 72 games, be ready for the playoffs, help us get this chip. So Mitch Rob, they're going to wait and see right now. Also, whatever extension he signs doesn't kick into 26-27, not this year anyway. So he's on about $13 million this year. That's already included in the numbers for their cap room this year. So he's good. He also, that is, Ian Begley and this man Keith talked yesterday about the rookie deal. And as somebody asked me, I think it was my man Malik Shabazz asked me, but could McCullough get the rookie contract? No, he cannot, because he has, and I looked it up already before they said this yesterday. I Googled it. Google told me as long as he has already signed an NBA contract on the two-way, that counts as an NBA contract. And the reason it does is because it counts toward their pension. Pension money is based on years of service. Once you sign a two-way contract, that's your first year of service in the NBA. So now you're not a rookie anymore, okay? Even if they didn't call you up, even if you play mostly in G League, it's a two-way deal. So on two-way deals, you're now an NBA player in terms of a contract. You cannot get a rookie contract. So the only two players that the Knicks own rights to that are eligible for a rookie contract, which they're going to use, is either Mohamed Diawara or James Naji. And as I talked to y'all this summer, in observing both players, Diawara is more NBA ready right now. There's a lot of upside potential in James Naji. He's only going to be 21 by the time the season starts, so he's very young. But perfect candidate for G League and for development and for Mark Bryant to get his hands on him. So there's things that he needs to learn at the 5 spot in the NBA, a lot. But he's willing to put the work in. So as long as that's the case, we got Mark Bryant, we got a G League Westchester team, put him down there on a G League contract, and he's good. We're going to let him develop. It's kind of like he's like a cake in the oven. I'm not even looking at him to be ready, for 2 more seasons. He's going 21. So by the time he's 23, he'll be ready. And then we're going to have some. Okay, we got another Mitchell Robinson coming with him. But he has to develop. So that's him. Therefore, Mr. Mohamed Diawara will be on the rookie deal. Now, will he play? This is what I like about what we're dealing with right now with respect to Mike Brown. He has some weaknesses, but one of his strengths is he's going to have a core that he knows are going to play. Okay, so Cat, Brunson, Bridges, OG, Mitch Rob, they're going to play, okay? But then he's going to allow for somebody through hard work and development to break into the rotation that earns it, somebody that really earns it. Watch out for Mr. Diawara. Now, he'll technically be the 15th guy. But I don't know. His defense, you're talking about 6'9", right? Somebody said 6'8", 6'9". I saw him this summer. He did look every bit of 6'9". Okay, now, he could have passed for 6'10". But the key thing here is he's about 6'9" with a 7-foot plus wingspan. And he knows how to use it. And he can handle the ball on a break. And he can guard 1 through 5. Yes, watch Mr. Diawara, y'all, because he's on a cheap contract. This is a situation, again, where you got to understand the Don is looking for what? Value. And especially in the current climate, in terms of NBA contracts and salaries and first and second aprons, you're trying to get value. And the Don is lethal. He is Sam Presti lethal in getting value. Diawara represents value. Imagine you could get him for like a $1 million, $1.5 million contract, and he can play minutes and be effective at 1.5 million, and you got him locked up for 4 seasons, probably 4 years, 6 million, 4 years, 8 million. This is, watch out for Mr. Diawara. I think he's going to make an impact. He's going to get the rookie deal, and he's going to be on the team. And then Mike Brown practices every day, so you're going to see if he earns some minutes. If he does, and I suspect he will, because of his defense. Nobody's stupid up in here. He knows where to get him on the floor. And he's got the ability. So we'll see. I'm kind of excited about Diawara defensively. I get more excited about defensive players. Speaking of which, yesterday they talked about the roster. And Mr. Keith Smith mentioned what I've already been saying. The Knicks might make a trade because that's the only way they can free up money. See, they got 2 spots right now. A vet spot, which is going to be Shamet's, and a rookie spot, which is going to be Diawara's. In order to add depth, they'd have to trade somebody into cap space. They can't trade somebody and bring back somebody. The point here is that they have several players that are ready to be on the NBA roster. Namely, Beauchamp, McCullough, okay? Beauchamp and McCullough. Then you have Dink Pate, which is ready, but I think they're gonna two-way him. Okay, so I'm not him. But Dink Pate, okay, McCullough, and Anton Watson. You got 3 players that are actually all 3 legitimately can be on an NBA regular contract. But you can't do that with all 3, which means 2 of them are going to either be on a two-way deal or on another team. And 1 of them might be on the Knicks. But in order to make that happen, you need to lose a contract, something around $2 million. Now, yesterday, Mr. Smith did what most high-level overview observers do. He focused on the offensive end by saying they probably going to keep Kolek and trade Pacome Daddy. That's what he suggested. Pacome Daddy, as we know, is 6'8". He's 20 years old. He's on a regular contract because he was drafted in the first round. I don't see the Knicks trading him. He's a wing. And what Mr. Smith suggests is that Kolek would stay because he's going to be a backup point guard. Now, we've been talking about that before, and I told y'all last summer how ridiculous that sounded. And it still sounds ridiculous. But Mr. Smith makes the mistake of focusing only on the offensive side of the basketball. Defense wins championships. Kolek doesn't play any. But he also mentioned whoever the Knicks were going to trade from the back of their roster to open up a spot, that the Nets are a candidate because of their cap space, which is what I also suggested. Because if Kolek was traded to the Nets, the Knicks don't need to take anything back. They may have to add a second-round pick because the Nets are looking for picks. But even if they had to, what I like about the situation is Kolek will have a chance to break into the rotation in Brooklyn, which is good for him. It won't really help him defensively, but he could break into the rotation offensively. And they'll work with that. They're a rebuilding team if there ever was one, right? So they're looking to rebuild. They're going to bring in all kinds of players. They're at the stage where they're going to have Moutier type dudes. They're gonna have dudes like that, 37-year-old veterans and young guys that need to get their teeth cut their teeth in the league. That's what Kolek would represent on their team. So I suggest that they'll go trade Kolek, open up a spot for one of the guys we're talking about, Watson, Beauchamp, McCullough. And the other two guys could be with Dink in the two-way deal. Or if one of them insists, and this is the thing now, somebody suggested they're going to let Beauchamp walk. This is how this will work, okay? Listen carefully. It's not just the team. It's the player. What do I mean? So let's take Marjon Beauchamp as an example. He's got agent, right? He's got agent, he's got representatives. And what is his agent doing? He's making calls to teams that might be interested in giving him a regular roster spot, an NBA level contract, maybe a minimum contract, which for him would be around $2.5 million. So if a team came to him and said, listen, we like Marjon, he might even be able to get in our roster, then his agent's going to tell the Knicks, can you please do me a favor and cut my guy so I can get him paid? And the Knicks would do that. So it's up to Beauchamp, Camp, and the Knicks. The Knicks might say to him, listen, we want you to do this two-way thing, and we're going to take Kevin McCullough and bring him up. Beauchamp might go to his agent and say, I ain't with that. And then we'll see what happens. But I will say this, Watson, Beauchamp, and McCullough are, and to me, Watson and Beauchamp more than McCullough, because McCullough still got something to prove. He's still coming along from the injury, but he's also getting up there in age. But all three of them are NBA level players right now. I think Watson and Beauchamp more so. McCullough, like I said, still got to show something. But so I wouldn't be surprised if either Watson or Beauchamp gets an extra, gets that spot they create by making a trade. So I'm saying they will make a trade, as Mr. Smith was suggesting yesterday, to open up a spot, not for Ben Simmons, no, but for one of the guys that they already have. So, in review, Shamet probably gets the vet spot, $3.5 million for him. Mitch Robb will get extended if he can stay healthy, not traded. Diawara will get the rookie deal and be on the roster. They might make a trade to open up another roster spot. That's the only way the Knicks can open up a roster spot, by making a trade. They're not going to trade anybody above Deuce. Deuce and forward, and there's no trades, okay? But you're talking about the youngins. They ain't trading Porty, obviously. They need him, especially if they start Mitchell Robinson. They're not trading Daddy. I'm sorry, he's 20 years old. No. And then you got Kolek. To me, he's the biggest candidate. He's going to be 25 in March. He needs to play in order to develop. On the Knicks, he's not playing. Okay? I know people be having these fantasies about him backing up Brunson. It's not going to happen. So you're talking about Brunson, then you're talking about Deuce, then you're talking about Jordan Clarkson and Shamet, and no, there's no room for Kolek. So he's a guy that needs to play. He's got guaranteed money. So they can bring him to the Nets. That gives him a chance. He got 2 years guaranteed on his contract. He can prove himself in rotation minutes with the Nets and be like a Jeremy Lin situation, where I'm not saying he's going to be Linsanity or Kolek Sanity, but I'm saying he can earn an extension by playing, because he needs to play. So that would be, to me, logical. It makes more sense. So the Knicks have now a defensive coordinators with Brendan O'Connor, and they got offensive coordinators with Saint and Gent. Of course, they got Mike Brown as the head. I have a feeling that Mike Brown, and I've been feeling this, he's going to focus on the defensive side of the ball with O'Connor. He's going to let Gent and Saint now focus the offensive side. You're going to talk about, again, somebody's going to ask me again, but I'm going to say it just before. Please listen to the whole video. So now you got Mark Bryant, big man coach. Big man coach. Mo Cheeks, guards. You got Brunson, Rick Brunson, personal coach. to Jalen Brunson. And you go on with life. Let's get this chip. Please enjoy your Wednesday. Shalom.